I am making a training video in the BF109G-14 on a air combat maneuver I call a stall snap roll. I have heard it called a few things. I've heard it called a helicopter maneuver and a few other things. I'm not sure if there's an official name for it, so that's what I call it. This is a 3-part training video. In the first part, I will go over some of the parts in the BF109. And in the second part, I will show you the maneuver from the cockpit. And in the third part of this video, I will show you the air combat maneuver in some in-game fights I've had. The first part on the plane I'd like to discuss are the flaps. They are split flaps, and as you can see, the part of the flap that is nearest to the cockpit is called a vented flap. This is an exhaust vent for takeoff and landing. There are conflicting statements on if this vented split flap actually helped the plane turn. The second part on the plane I'd like to go over are the leading edge slats. They increase the wing surface area, therefore decreasing the stall characteristics of the plane. The third part on the plane I'd like to go over is the rudder. The rudder is more like a World War I biplane style rudder. I'm not quite sure why they're made like this. I know it doesn't give you a lot of kick in the game. And the last part I'd like to go over on the plane is the prop. The torque you get from the prop gives the plane a lot of kick to the left. And because of this torque, it enables us to do this air combat maneuver, which I will show you. We'll go over the maneuver from the cockpit. It's a stall maneuver, and what we'll be trying to do is get our opponent at the time to overshoot us. In the third part of the video, I'll show you this maneuver and it working in-game, and hopefully it'll pull this whole video together. In the stall maneuver in the 109, you're going to start at 200 miles an hour, and the reason you start at this speed is because that's the speed you can get your flaps out. So we'll go ahead and we'll put the plane into a stall, and we'll just glide through the air like a kite. The 109 has 5 notches of flaps, and we'll go ahead and hit them all. I hit the throttle and it spins the plane right around. In most planes, it would go into a flat spin at that point, but just hitting the throttle, with the torque I get to the left, I'm able to whip my plane right around. So here it is, I'll show it to you again. Under 200. Flaps out, I'm off the throttle. Floating through the air. They overshoot, they're coming back. Whips my nose right around. So I'll go ahead and show it to you one more time. Flap management and throttle management is very important. Full stall on the throttle, and it whips the nose around. In this first fight, I am turn fighting an LA-7. He has been energy fighting me, and we are looking up from the cockpit as he comes in to take a shot. I'm going to run the player speed at 80%. You can see he misses his canopy shot. On my flaps, my turning radius is tighter than his. I get off my throttle and get on my flaps. I lessen my turning radius by putting it into a full stall. As he comes into view, I get back on my throttle and spin my plane around. So now, let's watch this engagement in real time from the cockpit with the recorded views. In this next engagement that we watch, I am turn fighting a Yak 9U. He comes in to take his shot at me, as in the last engagement, I am off the throttle and I am on the flaps. In this situation, he manages to get a shot on my engine, but it is still running. As soon as he gets his shot on my engine, I get off the throttle and I get on the flaps. I go into a nose down position, I get off the throttle, I get back on the throttle, I spin my plane around, and I'm on my flaps. I get back on the throttle, and I take my shot. Let's watch this engagement from the cockpit in real time with recorded views. My name's Sunka, and that's my dog.